Hey, thanks for joining me to color. Today we are going to be working on this super cute My Favorite Things Fredbear Gives Comfort image. Isn't he adorable? He also comes with this sentiment and another one. I will put a link down in the description box to the card kit and all the supplies I used. I would love to have you come shopping with me. It would also be great if you could hit the like button if you like the video, and if you're not a subscriber, do that so you will get an email update every time I upload a new video. If you have a question at the end of the video, go ahead and leave me a comment and I will get back to you. So I've already stamped my image on Neenah 80-pound solar white cardstock with Memento Tuxedo black ink. So let's color. So let's start out by coloring our bear. For that we're going to use E43, E42, and E41. I'm going to start out with my E43, and let's start down here at his foot. So I'm going to go ahead and just use my E43 and flick some color away from the edge or the insides of his leg. And then I'm also going to do a little bit right along the bottom of his foot. And then for this side, we're going to do the same thing on this side. So I'm going to go along the bottom of his foot. And then right up the inside of his leg. Like that. And let's go ahead, I'm going to exaggerate this middle section just a little bit. And then for his body, let's do, I'm going to go right, I'm going to bring his arm up all the way. And then I'm just going to go right along this edge. And I'm going to do a small line next to the blanket. I'm going to turn my guy around here and do the other side. So we're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to go right next to his arm and go work our way down his body. And exaggerate right there a little bit. And then I want to bring this over. And then let's do a little bit on his arms. So let's continue up here with our blanket first. Let's let a shadow there on his blanket. And then for his arm, let's do like so. And same for this arm. Let's go ahead and, oh, let's go up, continue up with our blanket. And then I'm going to bring a little bit of this color up here under his arm. And next I'm going to go with E42. So I'm going to add some color on here. So I'm brushing on top of my E43. And we're going to bring a little bit more of that color down. Let's go ahead and do this side too. And then we want to brush his stomach here. And I'm not being too precise. It's a bear. He's supposed to have rough looking fur. Like that. Then I'm going to grab E41. Let's go ahead and add this color in, and I'm going to go from this way so I can make sure not to get outside the lines. Since we're going to cut him out, I'm trying to stay inside the lines today, because I gave mine, when I cut him out, a little bit of a white border on the outside. If you're going to cut him right on the line, then color outside the lines all you want. That. Let's go up here and do a little bit more on his hand there. Now, I think I will take, I want him to have a little bit more of a fur look, so I'm going to take my E43 again, and I'm going to hold my pen more straight up and down and give it his fur some streaks. do a little bit on his foot. And let's do this foot. I didn't do this on the image I colored for the card, and it looked, I don't know, it just felt like it needed a little bit something more, so I'm trying something new by adding a little bit of fur color in here. Okay, and I'm liking that a little bit better than the card, so I'm going to leave it like that. Then let's go up here and we're going to use, again, our E43, and let's add some color. Oh, right here's a little bit of his arm, so let's go ahead and add a little bit of color in there. And then let's work our way underneath of his chin. And then in between the tissue box here. And again, over here, there's a little bit of his skin or his fur showing, so I'm going to give it a little dab there. Then I'm going to grab my E43 or E42, and we're going to fill this section in because there's not much left there, that little bitty space. And then we're going to go up here. I'm going to brush along that edge. And then I'm going to take my E41 to fill this in up here as the neck. Okay, then let's go up here into his face. So again, I've grabbed E43 first, and I'm going to give his ears a couple little flicks. And then for the side of his face, it's kind of curling around, so I'm going to make my fur go around. And switch directions on this side. That looks pretty good. We're going to go with E43, or sorry, E42. And add some more color. And we're just going to continue, so let's do some more on his face. And then E41. I want to fill in my white sections. You could also, if you like the highlights in there, you could leave some white on his face. But I'm going to fill mine all the way in. And then I think I'll take my E43 and add a little bit more of my dark back in. I'm keeping my pen more upright so that I get some more, my pen, I tend to do better with my, just creating lines. And I think I'll add a little bit down here on his chest. Let's give the inside of his ears a quick dab of R20. You could also use this to add some cheek color if you want him to have some little pink cheeks there underneath of his fur, but I'm going to just leave mine with like that. Let's hop down here and do the bowl with the chicken on it next. For that, we're going to use E19, R39, R37, and R35. I'm going to start with my E19, and on the inside of the bowl here, there's some lines, and I'm going to go ahead and use my E19 on those. And then I'm going to use this color on this side of the bowl, coming out past these lines out here. Kind of do the chicken beak. And I'm going to bring it underneath the bowl a little bit. Then I'm going to go with R39, and I just want to cover up that E19 with my R39. And I'm going to go past just a little bit. Then I'm going to grab R37. Bring this color over here a little bit. And then for the R37, I want to go around this chicken. Oops. Trying to be careful not to get red all over my chicken. Red is not very good with me. Me and red, we have problems. And then I want to fill it in with my R35. Go this way so I make sure not to color his fur red. And I'm going to use a little bit over here because I got a little bit of a line. I'm going to smooth it out just a little bit. So for the rest of our soup bowl, let's color this chicken's beak Y13. And I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm just going to color that in. And then for the spoon, let's use E84 and E81. So I'm going to give the back side of my spoon a little dab of my E84. And then I'm going to fill it in with my E81. And then for the soup, I'm going to use YG 95 and 93. I'm going to take my YG 95 and go along the edge. He's having split pea soup. And then YG 93 to fill it in. Next, let's do the blanket. For that, I'm going to use E50 and my colorless blender. And if I thought about it, I probably should have done it before I did the bowl, so I didn't have to worry about touching it, but we're going to do it now. So E50 is what I'm going to start with. And I want to come down here, and I just want to add some shadows. So let's use this blanket. It's already got some on here for me. I'm just going to exaggerate those. Do a little bit underneath of his hand. Same for this side. Let's just exaggerate these wrinkles that's already on the blanket for me. Go up this side. And I think I'll do a little bit down here right at the bottom of the blanket and along the top. Then I'm going to take my colorless blender and I just want to swipe over the whole thing, just to soften my lines just a little bit. And be careful going around that red. That's why I should have done it before I did the bowl, but that's alright. Just going to be careful. And over here like that. And then we'll come back and add the dots in a minute. For the tissue box, let's use B97, B95, and B93. I'm going to start with my B97, and I just want to go a little bit along the edge of this box over here. And then let's go down this side. And then I want to bring it over to the corner again. And then same for this side. Let's go down this side and then bring our box around over here. And I'm going to bring this up a little bit in here. Then I'm going to go with B95. And let's add a little bit more in here. And I just want to touch down on top of my previous color and soften that edge. And then we're going to fill it in with our B93. A little bit of a line there still, so I'm going to go over it a second or third time just to soften it. Okay, and then for the tissue, we're going to use C2, C0, and our colorless blender. I'm going to start with C2. Let's do some shadows here. And I'm going to add some C0 to that. I just want to soften that edge just a little bit. And then I'm going to take my colorless blender and just go over the whole tissue, just to soften it a little bit. So that leaves us with the dots I added to the blanket, and for that I'm going to use R37, R32, YG93, B93, and BG93. I'm going to grab my R37 and I'm just going to take my pen and make some circles. And I'm just being willy-nilly about it. I'm not being too careful. I'm just going to add some dots on here. I wanted it to kind of match the paper in the background, and I thought the paper, if I paper pieced it, I thought the paper would be too big. So there, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. Next I'm going to grab R32. Let's add one over here, right here, right here, and right here. So that's 4 of those. Next is YG93. And let's do so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those. Next we're going to go with B93. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those, if you want to have the same amount. And this is BG93. And you could make your dots as big or as small as you would like. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of the BG93. So there is our beautiful Fredbear Gives Comfort all colored up. Isn't he super cute? And again, here is the finished card. So I have cut him out and he's popped up on some pop dots, and I left a little bit of white around the outside of him, but you don't have to. You could cut him out on the line. And then I didn't add any sparkles or anything this time. I tried to keep it pretty simple so that you could just make a quick card and send to a friend who is sick. And then I stamped my little saying here on, that came with this image here on the little tab. So I hope you had fun coloring with me today. If you have a question, leave me a comment and I will get back to you. Otherwise, you have a great day. We'll see you next time. Bye.